Unfortunately, I still can't get my Radeon XR15 to work after I got a little bit of water on it during a water change. So I took the AI Prime off of the desktop tank here. I put it onto the display. It's not perfect by any means, but it gets the job done. Again, it adds light to this middle section here where I do have SPS coral, so I definitely need a light there. Now that I stole the AI Prime off of the desktop tank, I need a new light for the Nano here. And I really wasn't planning on getting anything overly expensive or powerful for a tank that mostly has LPS and softy corals. And so I was just doing some research, of course, looking into the local groups and things like that to see what people had for sale. And I kind of found the opportunity to buy a new light that I've been hearing a lot about. People seem to really enjoy them, say that they work well, and they're at a really affordable price point. And that would be the Nicrew lights. You can purchase these on Amazon. For me, this came overnight at a price point of $100. And this is their smallest light. It's the Nava Reef 65. And for $100, I got the light and the mount. And as I said, the package arrived very, very quickly. And so this is going to be the perfect opportunity for me to try this out. I'm going to get it on the desktop tank here. I'll do the unboxing and show you here in just 1 second. And then of course, we will track this light over time and just see how it does on the tank and hopefully give you a little bit more hope if you were planning on purchasing one of these yourself. The reviews are really good. They're, I think, like 4.5 or higher out of 5 stars on Amazon. And so I do have high hopes for it. I think it'll be perfect for what I need in this situation. So let's unbox this and get it on the tank. Quick start guide. Some additional information. It's packaged really nice. Our power supply. The mount for the tank. This is going to be the arm. The light itself is here. This looks very similar to the AI Prime 16. And then it has the buttons that are very similar to a Radeon. It's kind of like a mix between a Radeon and an AI Prime. Definitely looks cool. It's very sleek. So the shorter arm here is what attaches to the actual light. And then you can attach this to adjust how far out on the tank it goes. And then this attaches to the base, which allows you to adjust the height. So unfortunately, the screws will not go tight into these pre-drilled holes. They just spin, spin, spin. They don't ever get tight. And so I'm having trouble tightening down the arm as it comes out over the tank. What I think I'm gonna have to do is get bigger screws from my garage. Get a little bit thicker and it will grab onto this a little bit better. But that's my first negative with the light. Everything else attached with no problem. I found 2 screws that were just a little bit bigger and they tightened up real nicely. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. Either I suppose I could have stripped it in some way myself, or who knows, they mass produce these, I'm sure, and so maybe I just happened to get one that didn't have the best machining on the screw holes there. So either way, I was able to get that tightened down relatively quickly, and it's sleek. Like I said earlier, it looks great over the tank. I really do like it so far. And outside of just having to get my own screws for that part, it was relatively easy to get set up. So the next step is let's get it plugged in. And I do like how They put, speaking of the machining, the positives on the machining is they put these extra holes in here to feed the cord through so that it keeps it hidden, and you can run it back here, zip tied or something to the back of this, but a really nice way of keeping this cord hidden. Got a pretty small power bank here. Also worth noting that the power cord in itself is very long depending on your situation. If you need some extra length with where your outlets are, then you should have plenty of length here with the cord on this light. For right now, this light's going to be all manual with these 3 buttons up top. They do offer a controller that is sold separately that goes with this light, if that's something you're interested in. Might make more sense for you. For this situation on my small desktop tank, I am just fine adjusting this manually. Another cool thing about this little guide here is they tell you what they recommend on par levels for soft corals, LPS, or SPS. And they give you some other recommendations on percentage of colors and spectrum and a proposed lighting schedule. So this is a really nice guide that comes included. Taking a look at the instructions here, manually, you can adjust the intensity of the light. You can press the up button and it increases the light intensity by 5%. Of course, down and decreases it by 5%. If you hold it down, it just says it'll increase it rapidly. There is a way to enter a timer function, so you can set them to automatically turn on and off. If you choose to purchase the controller, you can then get in and adjust specifically each color. Once you select the timing that you want for the light, all you have to do is either do nothing for 20 seconds or hit the power button and it'll save it. So to enter our timer mode, we're going to hold the up and down arrows. So now it's blinking and it looks like I want to select yellow for 8 hours. Not really picking up because of the lens on the camera here, but it is definitely yellow. So I know I'm in the 8-hour mode, and what I think just happened is it starts that program, which is gonna be the ramp up and ramp down for 8 hours right when you select it, which makes sense. So now it's ramping up. So what I think I'll do is probably just manually set it to whatever intensity I want for now. And then at the end of the day, I'll shut it off. And then tomorrow morning when I want the light to kick on, that's when I'll engage the 8-hour timer mode. Something else in the instructions that will save you a lot of time is they have a QR code where you can watch an instructional video that'll probably explain this a lot better than I, but I like to kind of just figure things out on my own. So I skipped the video and just read through some of the information here and got it set up. So I'd say so far so good with the Nicrew Light. It's 2 thumbs up from me. A couple of small things I had to adjust, but it's a budget light, somewhat, depending on what your budget is, but a very affordable light in my opinion for something that looks very cool. It does look very similar to a Radion or an AI light, and I think some people do kind of complain or knock them that they copied those lights, but in my opinion, that's the form factor that most hobbyists want. And so of course, if they're building a light, I don't know much about the technology inside the unit, but the form factor and actual arm and everything like that is going to mirror a lot of what is popular. It just makes sense to me. And so, like I said, I like how the cord can be hidden behind the light itself. I can zip tie that around, but it's got holes pre-drilled to kind of run that cord through. The out-of-the-box settings I think are just fine for my needs here. If this were going to be a display tank for me, I think that I would definitely get that controller, and I'll have to take a look at how much that costs. I'll actually put it on the screen now, how much the additional controller does cost, so you can get more specific and dialed in with your color intensities. But like I said, manually, you can adjust the overall power of the light, and you can set a timer to it with some basic 6, 8, 10, and 12-hour functionality, which is just fine for me. And so I'm excited. I think this is perfect for what I need, as I said a couple of times already in this video. And we will just monitor the health of the corals overall. To be expected, there may be a little bit of a decline because it's a completely new light. That's no fault of Nicrew. anytime you adjust your light, that's a huge element of your overall ecosystem on a tank. And so I expect that they're not going to be looking absolutely fantastic right out of the gate, but hopefully after a small adjustment, the corals will continue to thrive, and I can give more recommendations on the Nicrew Light. But I, so far at least, would definitely purchase another one of these or even one of their larger units down the road. We'll just have to see how they do.